Hello everyone and welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be reviewing Jumanji The Next Level, which is the second sequel to the Jumanji series. We had the original 1995 film with Robin Williams, and we had, of course, Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle that came out 2 years ago, and now we have The Next Level, which is also starring The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, we have Kevin Hart, Jack Black, Karen Gillan, all these great people is in this movie. Danny DeVito and Danny Glover are new additions, along with Awkwafina. And this is, I do think the original Jumanji with Robin Williams is the best of the bunch. It's a classic. Not everybody loves that movie, but I love that movie. I grew up watching that movie all the time with my family. And it's such a fun and enjoyable movie. And Welcome to the Jungle was a really fun surprise. It was very entertaining, and it was a nice little twist on the original concept of, this board game coming to life in the real world. This time we're taking our characters and we're going into the game itself. And this movie goes along with that same idea, and in that way it feels not as fresh and new, which is part of my issues with this movie. But overall, I actually did enjoy this movie enough. I thought it was fine. It definitely is the worst of the bunch, and part of that is because this idea is it's not fresh anymore. Let's just get into the problems with this movie right off the bat, because the first 45 minutes of this movie is very, very rough to get through. At least for me, it was. It just was. This movie really went for these comedy bits, and it spent way too much time on these bits, and it was super drawn out, and these ideas are funny for a little while, and I'll say one joke in particular is Danny DeVito goes into the Rock's body. So, he's young again, he's experiencing all these things, and he doesn't really understand that he's in a video game, and there's this joke between him and Karen Gillan where Karen Gillan has explained the game to him, and, it's kind of funny the first time you see it. It's in the trailer, so it has less impact as it would if that entire sequence wasn't in the trailer. But, they do that joke. They could spend several minutes on this one joke. And then, 10 minutes later, they go back to that joke, and she explains the game to him again. It's like, do you understand it now? And it happens several times throughout the entire movie, mostly in the first 45 minutes. There's a lot of going back to these jokes and these certain bits that they just keep on going over and over again. And, we established the rules of this world in the first movie, in Welcome to the Jungle. So why are we going through all of this again? But as soon as you get to Awkwafina, I think the movie really gets a jolt of energy. As soon as you get into the second act and you meet her character, you're in this little village, and things light up and things start happening. Some awesome action sequence happens, especially with The Rock, and Karen Gillan kills it in this movie. I think this is definitely her movie over Dwayne Johnson's, as it was with the first one. And Awkwafina is great in this movie, and Jack Black, of course, steals the show once again. He stole Welcome to the Jungle. He stole this one. He has a lot of fun stuff to do in this movie, and they really do play with the characters in this movie and the voices that these actors have to do, and they have fun with it. And that's what I think is the most, the best part of this movie really is. You can tell that the actors were having fun in these roles, and they're having fun with these different characters, and they got to explore a lot of stuff, and a lot of it did work, and it was funny because it was fresh and new, and they had yet another twist upon the original concept of the movie, and I really enjoyed that aspect of the movie. And the first movie, the story-wise, the villain was definitely the worst part of that movie, and I don't really think they improved upon it in this one. In one way, they did improve upon the logic. In the first movie, the villain seemed to have some sort of self-control, and he's supposed to be like an NPC. You see him in cutscenes, but in cutscenes you see that they change things based on what the characters see, but the villain doesn't really see it doesn't really make sense. You can nitpick the crap out of it. This movie, the villain is truly kind of like an NPC. He really has nothing to do besides, be angry, I guess. They have some running jokes between the villain and The Rock. It's a fun new adventure. There's a great scene with the baboons that I thought was great, and the entire last act I thought was really fun, and some action sequences were great, and the characters and the way that this film wraps up I thought was really heartwarming. It had some great character moments between a lot of the actors in this movie, and it was just a lot of fun. This movie was fun for the second half of this movie. The first half was definitely rough to get through. A lot of jokes were repeated, but in some ways it worked, especially in the last half, but the first half is very rough to get through. I was looking at my watch several times. I was like, okay, 45 minutes in, we're with Awkwafina now. The movie's finally starting to pick up. Now I can start enjoying the movie. And I think what I really appreciate about this movie is Sony has a franchise now that they didn't really expect to have. Marvel, of course, Disney, of course, has Marvel and Star Wars, and Transformers is with Paramount, and all these different franchises are with different companies, and Sony has Spider-Man, kind of, And they also have Jumanji, and who knew that Jumanji would be that giant franchise that Sony's making a lot of money off of? But I think this one's going to do very well. But what I really appreciate about them having this franchise is Welcome to the Jungle really was a standalone movie. You could watch that movie alone, and that's it, and really enjoy it. You don't need to watch any of the others to really, get the story of that movie. It's kind of standalone, and the original Jumanji, of course, is standalone as well. And this movie has its own contained plot and its own contained story with its own character development, and you don't like you definitely it's definitely better to watch Welcome to the Jungle before you watch this one because you get to introduce the world and all that stuff. But the story itself is standalone. It has a beginning, middle, and end, and it has a concrete ending, and I think that's cool. And it does tease stuff maybe that they could continue on this franchise, and I think they have some really cool ideas that they could explore. Thanks guys for watching this video. If you enjoyed the review, subscribe to the channel to see more videos just like this one. Leave a comment below what you thought of Jumanji the Next Level, and just rank all three movies, I guess. Since there's three of them now, there's now a kind of a trilogy, kind of just two movies. It depends on how you look at it, but rank them down below in the comments. I'm curious to see what you guys think. Thanks guys for watching, and I hope to see you all in my next review.